The Cost of Vengeance. This is a movie filled with conspiracy and revenge. Some of the most important topics worth mentioning include conflict and unlimited betrayal. The film focuses on political and personal conflicts, highlighting the betrayal that occurs between friends and longtime collaborators. The film explores the impact of betrayal at different levels, from personal relationships to national security. Covert military operations. The story involves military operations, secret activities, and espionage, particularly between the two countries, North and South Korea. Officers and operatives from both sides struggle with loyalty, self-sacrifice, and survival in dangerous situations where they lose their lives while their leaders betray them. Diplomatic tensions. The film showcases diplomatic conflicts that bring the countries close to war, with growing threats and escalating tensions between the two nations. Additionally, international alliances, such as those between South Korea, the United States, and Japan, play a significant role in the storyline. Another area of particular interest is the important characteristics of the officers involved in these operations, including those with a sense of military pride. Officer Lee Min-gu, a skilled expert in firearms who plays an important role in dangerous missions. Officer Park Ji-won, Deputy Director of the National Security Department, responsible for high-level operations and crucial intelligence. North Korean generals. The leaders behind many of the plots and military actions against North Korea are major obstacles in the film. The President. The leader involved in making difficult decisions related to the safety of the country and overall political strategies. On the other hand, the film exposes important officials and diplomats, such as the U.S. Ambassador to South Korea, the Director of the National Intelligence Service of South Korea, the Minister of National Defense of South Korea, the Minister of Finance and Economy. Key plot points revealed in the story. An explosion at 10:28 a.m. local time causes shock and confusion, leading to dangerous events that threaten national security and result in security measures being taken in response. Special forces from the North Korean military police are suspected of planning the assassination of the South Korean president. A covert operation to deploy a submarine near Nampo port becomes a high-risk mission that cannot be ignored and must be responded to urgently. Betrayal within the team. The team tasked with responding and seeking revenge against the rival Korean officers shows significant sacrifice and tragic consequences. Their loyalty and patriotism are tested during the covert operation, targeting officers at a military base near the sea. The mission is completed as planned, but unfortunately, the leadership that ordered it betrays them, subjecting them to diplomatic pressures. As a result, the country's leaders decide not to send back the special forces that were sent to complete the secret operation. They send a rescue submarine, originally meant to retrieve the team after the mission, but unfortunately, by the time they return, everything has changed. After a heated debate, the 5 highest-ranking officials in the country held a closed-door meeting. The president was convinced that he had to choose between the country collapsing and being taken over by Korea or sending the special forces on a covert operation against their enemies. This was a painful and difficult decision. The president hesitated at first, unwilling to betray the friends who had sacrificed their lives for the country. But he was overpowered and forced to accept the decision. What happened next? The special forces carried out their mission, and at the break of dawn, they attacked their enemy's camp, wearing their enemy's clothes. As planned, they killed one by one the soldiers in the camp with knives without being noticed. They headed toward the sea carrying an injured man to board a ship sent by their government. They reached the sea and began swimming to intercept their country's warship. Unfortunately, treachery occurred and they were unaware. The soldiers on board the ship were given orders to shoot the soldiers who had carried out the mission, one by one, in order to prevent the operation from failing and to make it seem like the government had successfully completed the mission. The soldiers who had survived the mission approached the ship, expecting rewards and honors for their successful operation, but instead they were met with gunfire. They cried out, "We are the special forces, don't kill us." However, their cries were ignored and the shooting continued. The sea turned red with blood. The event was survived by a highly intelligent and brave officer who was chosen by his country's leadership to lead the Special Forces Group. We will elaborate on his story later, but for now we will reflect on the broader picture. If we summarize the film's story, betrayal and revenge. The story is about a hero named Lee Yoon-sung, who seeks revenge on those who killed his father. His father was part of the special forces sent on a covert mission, and afterward, the ship that would save them was ordered to kill Lee Yoon-sung's father and his group. The background of hero Lee Yoon-sung is fighting against the relationship with his adopted father, Lee Jin-pyo, and is searching for his true identity. Conflict and sacrifice. Hero Lee Yoon-sung faces both personal and political conflicts, making great sacrifices toward his goal. Lee Yoon-sung. Lee Yoon-sung, the hero of the film, is a young man raised by Lee Jin-pyo, a former officer who survived the Operation Clean Sweep 1983. This operation was a covert mission that led to the massacre of South Korean soldiers sent on a secret mission, which was covered up by their government after the operation failed. Lee Jin-pyo, the only officer to survive, decided to avenge those responsible for the betrayal and planned a revenge operation. He raised a young boy, the son of his friend who was killed in the operation, and named him Lee Yoon-sung. He gave him intense military training. The 5 targets. The story is based on a covert military operation called Operation Clean Sweep, which took place in 1983. The operation was planned as a revenge mission against North Korea, but it ended in a horrific massacre of the South Korean soldiers sent for the mission after their government ordered to cover up the failed operation. 5 high-ranking officials were involved in the betrayal, and one of them was President Choi Young-chon. The president represents a leader focused on national security and overall political strategies. However, his role in the betrayal is a complex one, as he deals with ethical and political disputes concerning the decision to commit the military to national interests. The U.S. ambassador to South Korea. Although not a South Korean citizen, the ambassador is involved in the international aspects of the plan. His actions and influence contribute to the decisions that led to the betrayal, highlighting the interplay between foreign and domestic political interests. The director of the National Intelligence Service. As the head of South Korea's intelligence operations, this person plays a key role in approving and covering up the covert operation. Their focus on protecting national secrets drives their involvement in the betrayal. The Minister of National Defense. The Minister of Defense is responsible for overseeing military operations and plays a direct role in the planning and execution of Operation Clean Sweep. Their role in the betrayal demonstrates how political interests override the well-being of soldiers. The Minister of Finance and Economy. Although not directly involved in military operations, the participation of this minister shows the economic and political impact of the government's decisions. Their support for the operation demonstrates how corruption and abuse of power affect national matters. These 5 officials are gradually revealed as failures in the film, as the hero Lee Yoon-sung fights to avenge the soldiers, including his father, who were killed, and to dismantle the corrupt system based on betrayal. The film highlights themes of betrayal, political corruption, and the struggle for accountability. Lee Yoon-sung's identity change. To seamlessly blend into the high-ranking institutions of South Korea without raising suspicion, Lee Yoon-sung undergoes a major identity change. He is sent abroad to Thailand, where he undergoes rigorous physical and mental training to prepare for his mission. Later, he receives advanced education in the United States, graduating from MIT with a degree in IT and computer science, making him a highly skilled expert. After completing his studies, Yoon-sung assumes a new identity as an American citizen. This crucial step allows him to return to Korea, pretending to be an ordinary person seeking a job. The carefully planned identity change and his subsequent journey prevent any suspicion, enabling him to achieve his ultimate goal. Working in the Blue House. Using his advanced knowledge and IT skills, Lee Yoon-sung secures a job in the communication team at South Korea's presidential office, known as the Blue House. This position grants him access to crucial information and allows him to get close to key figures involved in the corruption scandal. While working at the Blue House, Yoon-sung covertly carries out his mission, balancing the dismantling of the corruption network with personal relationships formed during his time there. His dual identity further complicates his situation as he faces professional duties, ethical challenges, and a romantic relationship with Kim Na-na. a member of the presidential security team. Challenges and ethical dilemmas. During his time at the Blue House, Yoon Sung is forced to confront the ethical consequences of his actions. His adopted father, Lee Jin-pyo, is the officer who survived the massacre and insists on merciless revenge. But Yoon Sung struggles to reconcile his desire for justice with his humanity. Over time, he begins to question whether revenge is worth the suffering it will cause others, and whether it aligns with the values he believes in. The internal conflict he faces worsens as he uncovers more about the lives and motives of those he is targeting, realizing that his mission is not as clear-cut as he once thought. His work at the Blue House becomes a place where he nurtures his own soul, forcing him to redefine his purpose and his view of justice. This film explores deep emotional and political themes, highlighting the cost of revenge and the sacrifice made in the pursuit of justice. Conclusion: The Cost of Vengeance is a powerful narrative that combines intense action with profound emotional depth. It serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of corruption, the weight of betrayal, and the complexities of seeking justice in a morally ambiguous world.